everyone, I'm Sunil. I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Tech Basics. So in the previous video, we have written programs related to strings, and then we have worked with some of the string functions over there. And then we have written a program to search a string from the list of strings available and so on. So we'll try to complete out the exercises that are available over here, exercise number 3 and 4. So wherein in exercise 3, what is that exactly we need to do is we have to accept 10 strings and we have to display the number of times the given string is present in the list. So this is what the program we need to do over there. We want to accept 10 strings and we have to display how many number of times a given string is present in the list and so on. Okay, so how is that we are going to write a program for this? Go to your software repl.it. Now that you have to accept 10 strings. So how is that we are going to declare here? You will say a of 10, but it is not sufficient. When you say a of 10, it means that you are going to accept one string of 10 characters. Now if I write like this, it means you are going to accept 10 strings. Each string can have maximum of 20 characters. And then you take up one more string called S, a string which you want to search, and then you have to count how many times that particular string is available. So you can say integer c equals to 0 over there. So let's understand declaration. This is to accept 10 strings and each string can be of 20 characters. This is to accept a string to search. This size of this and the size of this has to be the same, and then integer c, that is to count how many number of times the particular string is available, and then you have to run a for loop over here. For that you take a variable called I. Now give a message to the user over here saying enter 10 strings. Now as you have to accept 10 strings, you have to write a for loop I equals to 0 less than 10 I plus plus, and then you will say scanf %s. You have to say a of I. So this is how you are going to accept 10 strings. After you accept 10 strings, then you ask the user to enter a string to search. So you can say enter a string to search. So take the value of that. You say %s. It is a single string, so you can just take it as s over. Yeah. So this is how you have accepted 10 strings, and this is how you have accepted a single string. Now what is that we need to do is, you need to check how many times this string s is available in this list called A. So A of I is an array containing 10 strings. How many times this particular string is present in this particular array? So for what is that we need to do for that? If I have strings like this, and then if I want to search a string called A, whether it is available or not, so what I do is I'll take this string to search and I'll compare with the first value, second value, third value, so on. Whenever there is a match, I will try to increment the counter. So the same thing we'll try to implement over here. So what do you do now? You say I equals to 0 less than 10 I plus plus, and then you compare. Now how is that you are going to compare? You have to say string compare. So you can say strcmp a of I comma s. If the value of this is going to be 0, if the result of this is 0, what is the meaning of that? A of I comma s equals to 0 means what? If it will be equal to 0 when both the strings are equal. Okay, so if it is so, what is that you are going to do? You will say c plus plus. So c is a counter which we are using. You will increment that counter. Otherwise, you don't have to increment. Now here if you see strcmp, when you write, you got an error. That is because we have to include here a header file called string.h whenever you make use of the functions. Now you will see that that particular line, that error message is disappeared here. Now once you do this, you just say now number of times given string is present in the list equals to %d, and you will display the value of C. So how many times it is present? Equal to C number of times the given string is present in the list. So what do you give the message over there? Number of times given string is present in the list equals to C. And then complete your program, wherein you just write return 0 and then stop your program. So it should be very clear. You are declaring 10 strings and a string to compare. You are taking up a counter there. You are accepting 10 strings over here. Then you are accepting a string which you want to search. And then you are comparing that search string with the list, that is 10 strings in the list. Whenever they are equal, whenever you found that the search string and the string in the list is equal, you increment the counter and then display the number of times you have incremented the counter. Try to run this program now. You can give 10 strings over there, any string of your choice. It's not compulsory. You need to do the same. So see there now. So now it is after accepting 10 strings, it is now asking you to enter the string to search. So I say I want to search a string called SS. So SS is available over here for 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and so on. So our output should be the given string is present in the list for 6 number of times. So that is how you need to write the code for this. So what is that we have done over there? We have taken 10 strings and we have taken a string to search, and this string which you want to search, you will compare with every string that is available in the list. Whenever there is a match, you will increment the counter, otherwise you will not. And then you display the value of that particular counter, you get the output for it, and so on. So this is how you are going to write a program wherein you are going to search a string in the list, and you are going to display here how many number of times that particular string is available in the list. We'll try to go with the next example there. We'll try to solve that. So the next thing that you want to do over here is you want to write a program to accept 10 strings and you want to display them in alphabetical order. So if you remember, when we were working with arrays and numbers, there we have written a program to accept 10 numbers and we have displayed all the numbers in ascending order, descending order, and so on. The same is the concept that you need to implement whenever you are going to arrange the strings in alphabetical order. Only the difference you find is whenever you try to compare the string and when you want to put the strings in alphabetical order, you will make use of a function called strcmp. And whenever you want to copy the string into some other string, then you need to make use of strcpy. So these two functions you are going to make use of. Otherwise, the program will be exactly similar to what you have written for numbers in order to put the numbers in ascending or descending order. Let's try to code this. So you can declare 10 strings and then you want to have one string so that you can store the values in this particular string whenever you perform swap operation and so on. So whenever you want to interchange the string, you can make use of this. So this temporary string location or temporary variable that you are declaring should have the size equal to this, because the value of this you are going to put in this for temporary swapping. Okay, then what do? You take I over there. In order to run a loop, you require 2 loops to be executed. So you take I and j. Now give the message to the user. You can say enter 10 strings. So this program will be in line with the program that you have written for numbers. And then you accept 10 strings over there. I equal to 0 less than 10, I plus plus. You can say scanf %s a of I. So this is how you accept 10 strings. Now, after you accept 10 strings, what is that we have to do? You want to arrange them in alphabetical order. So if your strings are something like this, and then if you want to arrange them in alphabetical order, what is that we have done in case of numbers? We are going to do the same over here. So if you have not gone with the previous video, please go through the previous video wherein we have written programs to arrange the numbers in ascending order. The complete logic with the diagram is explained over there. Anyhow, what is that we are going to do is we are going to take the first string and we are going to compare this with the second string, third string, fourth string, and so on. And whenever you find that the first string is greater than the next string or the second string, then what you are going to do is you are going to swap them. In the same way, when you do this for all the numbers or all the strings, you will find at the end that all the strings comes up in a alphabetical order. So for that, please refer to ascending order program that we have done in the previous video. So what is that I need to do there? I need to say I equals to 0 less than 10, I plus plus. For j equals to, so I is 0 means the first string is taken, and then the second string you want to compare with the first. So you take the value of j starting from I plus 1. So when I is 0, j will start with 1. And then j less than 10, j plus plus. What is that you do then? You say strcmp a of I comma a of j. So you are comparing the first string with the second string, and then if the first string happens to be greater than the second string, so what is that you need to do? If the value is greater, meaning of that is first string is greater than second string. Whereas when you want to put them in alphabetical order, your first string has to be the smallest string. So in that case, you need to swap the strings. A of I value has to go to A of j has to come to A of I. So what is that we have done in the previous example? You will say strcpy t comma A of I. What is the meaning of this? So it means A of I value you are going to place it in t, and then strcpy A of I comma A of j. So A of j value now comes in A of I, and finally strcpy A of j comma t. So value from the temporary location will come back to A of j. So that is how you are swapping two strings from A of I to A of j and so on. So once you do this, and once this for loop executes in totality, you will find that all the strings are arranged in alphabetical order. So what is that we are doing over here? We are writing two for loops. Why for two for loops? Because you want to compare the first string with all other strings. So when I value is 0, you will see that the j value will change from 1 to 9. Okay, so when I is 1, j value will change from 2 to 9. So that means when I is 1, meaning of that is second string you are going to compare with third, fourth, and till last string. So in that way you will compare the strings, and then you will interchange the strings only when you find that the first string is larger than the second string. Once you do this, then you can print here strings in alphabetical order. So you can print the strings which are in alphabetical order by writing a for loop I equals to 0 less than 10 I plus plus, and you can say now printf %s, better you put slash in A of I. So all the strings you can display, right? So try execution of this program. You can give any string of your choice the way you want. You can give the strings over there. So you can see there now we have given SS, DD, AA, BB and so on, and you got A, B, D, F, G, N, Q, S, T, U and so on. So that means what? All your strings that we have given in which were not in order when we have given, now they are in a particular order, and that too in an alphabetical order. So how is that we have done this? We have done this by making use of a string function called strcmp, and whenever you make use of any of these string functions, on the top you are supposed to make use of include string.h header file and so on. So this is how you can write programs with the help of strings, and you can perform searching operation with strings, sorting operations with strings. So whenever you perform sorting operation, an advantage we get by sorting is nothing but arranging the strings. So whenever you sort the strings, an advantage you get is your searching operation becomes easier. Like we have products in any of the shop, if you take all the products in any given shop will be sorted in some manner. Suppose, say, the fastest selling products will be sold, which are sold at a rapid pace. Okay, they are kept near to the hand, and the products which will be sold sometimes in a week, once in a week, and so on, will be kept somewhere on the top, and so on. So that is how sorting can be done based on the need, and then we will put the strings in alphabetical order, and so on. We used to also sort the books while we used to go to the school in the order of the period that we have, and so on. So depending on which is the first subject, you used to put first, next, and so on. So by this, an advantage we get is whenever you try to search something, you will get that particular value easily and faster. Okay, so then we'll try to go with the next concept over there, wherein we'll try to understand the concepts which are required for data structures. Nothing but we'll try to understand their functions, we'll try to understand pointers, and then we'll try to go for writing programs on linked list, and so on. So this is going to be very, very important for us, because data structures is very important for us whenever you try to attend any interview, whenever you try to write any competitive exam, and whenever you try to answer questions on C language. So with this, we'll stop this particular video over here. Basic concepts required for data structures, I'll try to cover up in the next video. Thank you.